Recording has begun.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My name is Shazad Hussain and I live at 20 Primary Way, and today it's been 114 days since my big brother Talib has been kidnapped. Let me just get up here. Hold, let me put something down. Since my big brother Talib has been kidnapped by the state, by Bradford Council, 114 days later, and I'm stuck in a state of limbo. Groundhog Day, every day is the same. They've made this home, this once a lovely home, into a prison, and I have no idea where my brother is. They won't tell me. I ring up daily the solicitor, the social worker at the council, the housing association solicitor, where I can get some information, where I'm getting drips of information through his witness statements, all refusing to engage with me. I contact the police every single day, West Yorkshire Police, and leave them a message to call me back. Everybody's simply refusing to speak to me now. They've got my brother now for 114 days. I have no idea what kind of condition they're holding him under. They're clearly detaining him unlawfully against his will. And I'm just mindful of the fact that recently, as everybody knows, there's been this Israeli-Palestinian conflict where on the 7th of October, the Hamas came and attacked the Israelis and kidnapped their citizens. And as a consequence, Israel's been bombing them. But there's been a recent ceasefire and hostages given back over. So that happened on the 7th of October, and then hostages, 6 weeks later, the hostages have been returned. However, in my circumstances, it's been 114 days since the 8th of August 2023. And the local authority are not going to give my brother back to me. They're not going to tell me where he is. They're just going to torture him to death. You know, he has clear human rights that are being violated, and there's nothing I can do about it because the local authority, Bradford Council, is in collusion with the health authorities, Bradford District Care Trust, and the Bradford Teaching Hospital, in addition to the West Yorkshire Combined Authorities of West Yorkshire Integrated Care Board, I think it's called, which has oversight over all the GP practices. So any healthcare professional is colluding and working with the local authority. The Housing Association, Manningham Housing Association, is working and colluding with Bradford Council. The police authority, West Yorkshire Police, is colluding and conspiring with the Bradford Council. More importantly, the courts and tribunal services, spearheaded by Nick Goodwin, who was previously the public guardian, who have made allegations, murdered my mother, is now in charge of the courts and tribunal services, whereas previously he was the public guardian. And so the courts and tribunal services are colluding with the Bradford Council. But most importantly, and most damningly, and most sinisterly, all the judges at the Bradford County Court, the Leeds County, all judges on the North Eastern Circuit are working for the local authority, Bradford Council, and that just extends to High Court judges, Mr. Justice Cobb and Mr. Justice Cohen, who have been instrumental in my mother's murder, all under the same circumstances. This is like a broken record. I keep on going around this, being kept socially isolated from any friends and family. They can come and kill me off whenever they choose to now, because I was looking to highlight and expose the fraud and corruption, and I'm being penalized and made a victimized because of my need to speak out. But of course, I'm not going to sit here. I mean, what do they expect me to do? Be quiet? I owe it to myself and not to be a coward like these people, because, one or two things happen. When you get touched by evil, you become either evil or you fight against it. And I'm fighting against it. I don't want to turn evil like these people. I owe my soul to a higher authority, namely my Allahu Akbar. So, I'm not going to sit here and compromise my integrity and principles because they're now holding my brother hostage. They're going to kill him off. Of course, I live in fear for his life and his safety, and I feel for him, but it's that aspect of me feeling for somebody that they can't stand, because all they're interested in making profit, money and gain for themselves. So it's a completely diabolical situation that they've got me facing right now. I mean, one of the reasons, I think the time is about 9:15. One of the reasons I'm making a bit of a late session today, and as you can see, it's snowing outside, so that's brilliant, isn't it? That's a change of environment, isn't it? It's always good when the snow's around, because it makes just such light heart of the situation. But coming back, the reason I'm making a late recording today is because I've spent a long time drafting up court papers for the courts and tribunal services in the First Year Tribunal regarding a separate matter in relation to the ICO, Information Commissioner's Office, which are proceedings that I'm pursuing in parallel to the Claimant Housing Association pursuing proceedings against me, which are going nowhere, which are being spearheaded by the Bradford Council. And it's just all fraud and corruption and debauchery, and it just, you become very sick of it, because these people are using public money to effectively commit criminality under the guise of professionalism, justice, and elitism, and it's just all kind of disgusting. I mean, I tried ringing up the courts today. Once again, I'm in a deja vu situation where I've caught the courts clearly failing, and now when I'm trying to speak to them, they say, no, you must write into us. Why do I need to write into you people? You clearly are now realizing that the situation is becoming unsustainable, and basically stonewalling me with direct access to the courts, because obviously I've now uncovered a great deal of fraud and corruption taking place at Bradford County Courts, just as previously I had discovered a great deal of fraud and corruption taking place at the Leeds courts, particularly the Court of Protection in Leeds, and all the shenanigans that were undergoing there. There's clearly, it's basically just become so exasperating dealing with a malevolent, evil, vindictive, sly and cunning and deceptive and deceivious organizations such as Bradford Council, who change the goalposts every time, will not give you a clear enough answer, which is basically just scamming the system, scamming the people, and looking to fool us and making us all idiots and morons just like them. That's how they want you to be, stupid. And while I stand up to them and I highlight their failures, I get targeted, victimized, oppressed. My brother's suffering, I'm suffering, my sister's suffering, my mother suffered, they murdered my mother to death through suffering, and this is what they want to do. They want to exchange your happiness and joy, God-given rights, happiness and joy, to happiness, joy, and they want to replace it with human suffering, because that's more profitable for them. Because through your human suffering, see, look, let me explain something. If I am distressed and I am not, first of all, if I'm happy and joyous and stuff, I'm going to be progressive. I'm going to, be stronger in myself. But if I am depressed and alone and isolated as the situation that they've got me, then once you become depressed, you look to self medicate yourself, and you do that by obviously turning to drugs and alcohol and all kind of vices in order to compensate for the depression and the void that's created in you. And that's what they make money. They want you to be gambling your money away. They want you to be drinking all your money away. They want you to be smoking all your money away. This aspect, you shouldn't do drugs. They tell you shouldn't do drugs, but then they want you to do drugs, because then they've got you, you see. They've got you under their thumb. They've got you medicated and reliant and subservient to the system that they've created. So it's all kind of fraudulent and corrupt. But yeah, what can one do but just persevere? I mean, it's now 114 days. I'm very unlikely to ever see my brother ever alive ever again. They're going to kill him off, just like the same situation that happened in my mother's case. 334 days I did not get to see her, and they just killed her off. So and this is the reality of the situation. City of culture, or more like city of vultures. They all tell such lies. They all work together. There is no independence. If there was independence, people would step in and say, no, this is wrong. Nobody's going to step up. Nobody's going to step in, because obviously the state effectively works collectively. It tries to give you the impression that you have a choice, so you can vote for one noddy to another noddy, whether conservative or liberal, Democrat or Labour. They're all just noddies. They're not going to do anything. All they're going to do is maintain the status quo and get money out of the system for themselves, make privileges for themselves. This is the reality of the situation. The system is designed to maintain the status quo, so the establishment, to help keep the establishment in place. That's the whole point of it. The social cohesion is all about keeping everything in place, which is benefiting to them. And for someone like myself and my family, it's all meant to be torture, pain, and suffering. But we must persevere. Anyway, I think we should leave it there. I'm not suicidal. I'll never kill myself, and if any harm comes to me, it's as a direct result of Bradford Council looking to torture and murder me for exposing the fraud and corruption. I think we should just leave it there. Allah Hafiz.